Hello everyone, how y'all doing? So today we got a relatively surprising release. So Nanashi, who's an original character in the story mode of Storm Connections, a character that for a very long time I was just thinking, why is she not playable? You know, Mers, I don't really care if Mers is playable or not. Mers is not really someone who interests me that much. But Nanashi, she is. Like, she honestly felt, you know, in a lot of anime video games, you know, original stories, they tend to be pretty hit or miss, but like Storm Connections, I think they kind of nailed. And I think Nanashi feels like a character that would she feels like a character that would belong in the actual Naruto lore. Like, her overall backstory is very in line with the tone of the series, and so I liked her, and I was hoping she would be playable, but for a very long time she wasn't, but now she is. And I guess at least this surprised me, just because, you know, for a very long time, you know, it just kind of felt like Storm Connections was extremely dormant. Like, Hiroshi Matsuyama, every once in a while, would sort of comment on the fact that, hey, you know, despite what it looks, we actually do still intend on supporting this game. And people were always like, okay, it's time to sniff the copium, but then we would wait another year, and then Matsuyama would take the same thing, and we were just like, okay, do we have to wait another year again? Because nothing's happening. Well, I guess something is happening now, and I think for the most part, people kind of want a season 2. Personally speaking, like, whatever. Season 2 comes out, whatever. I mostly just kind of want a story mode, if I'm being honest, because to me, that's the thing the Storm Connections is really missing. You know, I don't like the minimal changes in terms of the mechanics that happen in this game. I still feel like Storm Connections, compared to other Storms, felt the most underwhelming when it comes to how many changes it exists compared to the other games. But if there's one thing that would make me feel less sour about that, it's just a good story mode. Like, good story mode could have saved this game, but I just don't think it has a good story mode. And I don't think it's because CyberConnect 2 doesn't know how to make good story modes, because Hinokami Chronicles 2 exists. So that's what I personally want. Like, just, I don't know, release a story DLC. And honestly, at this point, I would even accept a new game. In fact, I kind of prefer a new game, if I'm being honest, based on Boruto material. That's what I want. I think that's what a lot of people want, if I'm being honest with you. That's what people buy Storm for. Well, except for the competitive players. They actually do play this game hardcore. I personally don't. But anyway, Nanashi is finally playable. I did have some time to play around with her. Overall, she seems pretty cool. I guess just as just kind of pointed out at the very beginning, in terms of her crumble, because that's one of the few changes that Stone Connections has, which is a lot of characters, they have they're normals. Sometimes they can have knockdown effects, and for Nanashi, it's in her fourth input. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That's where the crumble happens. If, for example, I do this. Hang on. 1, 2. Yeah, I can then extend. Though that's not the only way you can extend. For example, well, let me see. I think it's the 5th neutral input. Let me try. Yeah, it kind of leaves the character in a bit of a stunned state. Yeah, like, all she has to do is walk a little for the 5th input. Let's try again. Yeah. So she has 2 routes. There's also the 3rd input that kind of leaves the character. Oh wait, I prematurely. Stop blocking. 1, 2. Yep. Her 4th input, it leaves the character, you know, kind of stunned in the air a little bit, and you can connect at least Boruto's vanishing Rasengan, and it should work. Then and then there's also her jutsu arsenal. So her standard jutsu, you know, it's an Inferno style jutsu, and you know, it's fine. It definitely doesn't cover like a lot of ground. Like, the hitbox is good for, you know, for first range. You know, it's fine. Let's try again. 1, 2. Yeah, it's fine. Let's actually check something. Because her grab is actually really cool because I could be just full screen. I click grab, she travels there. It's kind of like Tobirama-esque. I really like it. So let's try something. Like let's say, oops, wait, I pressed prematurely. Yeah, the only problem is her Inferno style jutsu isn't like, the character tends to wake up pretty early because Nanashi gets stuck in an animation when she does the jutsu, so it's a little bit hard to cancel to a grab. But what about her projectile based jutsu? It's a similar situation. I'm pretty sure that she wakes up a bit quicker. The only problem is Guy is in the air when she uses that jutsu, so he can recover it. I mean, I guess you can reset, but like for combos, that's not super practical, unfortunately. But I don't know. At least you can connect to a jutsu, so that's. I think that's still valuable. And then there's her ultimate jutsu. Her ultimate jutsu is pretty basic. It's not super bombastic. I don't mind it though. It feels like a pretty grounded ultimate jutsu, which to me is not a bad thing. I like it honestly, but it's definitely not like nowhere near like the best ultimate jutsu in the game. Certainly not. And interestingly enough, yeah, her moveset is definitely very recycle-ish. Like a lot of her moves are like very reminiscent of like existing Uchiha characters. But honestly, a lot of Uchiha characters tend to be like that, if I'm being honest. So it's not exactly something that's like super exclusive to her. Like for example, this move here, this looks like Goka Mekyaku from Madara. It's not exactly it, but it kind of looks like it. Just out of curiosity. Yeah, her air combo is decent. Yeah, she has a pretty cool moveset. I don't know. Honestly, she feels like a character I think I would play. The only thing is, I don't know if I'd play her as a point character because she has a fire paper. And these kinds of fire papers are not the best ones to use for extending combos. It's wait a minute. It's not even. She's not even launching it. Hang on. Do it again. Yeah. I think I might need to. Hang on. I guess that's the only instance where it might make sense. So yeah, probably not as a point character. I would much rather have a character that has like a debuff paper or one of those poisoning papers or something like that. But still, pretty cool. Overall she plays nice. I like the way she plays. So I'm certainly not going to like extensively play this game online or anything like that. But I don't know. Maybe if I'm playing with the boys, I might play with her and everyone's gonna be confused, be like, dude, who's that? I've never heard of her. And I'm just like, well, let me explain to you something about Nanashi Uchiha, and then I'll spoil the entire story of Storm Connections. So yeah, I think that's all I really wanted to share. I do hope we see more updates of Storm Connections. Hopefully. Honestly, I just want a story mode. I don't really care about season 2, whatever. It's like I'm not paying for season 2, anything like that. I'm not throwing away money for characters. I don't really have time to do that anymore. It's not really my thing. But a story mode? I don't know. It would be nice. And apparently there's gonna be like an announcement for like a new project that's gonna happen for Naruto. I think I vaguely remember seeing a tweet that implied that there might be like a new game based on Naruto. I don't think it's gonna be like a new Storm. It's probably like legitimately a new game, which honestly I think a lot of people want that anyway, so it's a good thing. And I guess this update, which by the way, it's not just a free character, they did also introduce some like balance changes, and so this to me is kind of signaling the fact that there might be a new wave of just overall Naruto content getting released probably this year, maybe new announcements. So I think this is a good sign. I'm gonna keep an eye. For a while I kind of thought that Naruto was a bit dormant, but good. It's a good thing. It's a good thing to see this. So yeah, anyway, that's all. Hopefully everything goes well from here. And hope you have a great day. And I opened the wrong window. I actually meant to open OBS. Okay, there's OBS. All right, stop recording.